Hi everyone, this is Amy Johnson Crow, and welcome to this week's Archives.com live stream. Our topic this week, Patriots of Color, African Americans in the Revolutionary War. As I was doing a little bit of research for this week's live stream, I discovered some facts that were surprising to me. I knew that African Americans have a long and proud military history in the United States, but I didn't realize quite how many had served on the American side in the Revolutionary War. There are various estimates, but most of them place the number of African Americans who served in the military during the Revolution at around 5,000. Plus, there were also some slaves who escaped and served on the side of the British. Some of the British commanders had promised the slaves freedom if they could escape and make their ways into the British lines. So there were blacks who served on both sides of the war. We don't know how many served for the British, but estimates are around 5,000 who served for the Americans. And approximately 5% of the soldiers at the Battle of Bunker Hill were black. And countless more provided aid to the Patriot cause, serving as laborers, as wagoners, as scouts and guides, and also providing goods and other services to the Patriot cause. They didn't serve in the military, but they did help the Americans win the war. According to the National Park Service, the units on the American side were integrated, with blacks and whites serving together. And blacks and whites also received the same pay during the Revolutionary War. However, there have not been any blacks who are identified as having served above the rank of corporal. Now, African Americans in the Revolutionary War, as a group, have largely been understudied. They've been under-researched. But there is a wonderful resource that we can use now called Patriots of Color, and it's available on Archives.com. Patriots of Color is a database of African Americans who served in the military or somehow aided the Patriot cause. It's a free database, and the research for this database for Patriots of Color, the research was led by Dr. Henry Louis Gates and Jane Ailes. Now, how did they identify who would be included in the Patriots of Color database? Well, in going through various records, first you would have to look for, did they serve either in the military or provide some sort of aid to the Patriot cause? So, was there military duty? Were they slaves who were confiscated from loyalists? Were they laborers, scouts, wagoners, sailors, anybody like that who would have provided aid for the cause, either military or civilian duty that aided the Americans? And also, as going through the records, looking to see if there's indication about their race. Now, this is a little bit more difficult, especially in the military records, because there isn't always an indication of the race. So there are undoubtedly more who served in the American Revolution, again, either in military duty or providing civilian aid, who are going to go unreported simply because there aren't any records that would indicate their race. But for the records that do indicate race, essentially looked at anyone who is identified as non-white, and they could be described in the records as black, mulatto, colored, etc. Whatever term the person who was creating the record would have used. So it's important to remember that descriptions can vary. Now, the same person could be described with different complexions in different records. So a man might be described as black in one record and mulatto in another record, but it's the same person. So with these descriptions varying from record to record, it can make it difficult to tell if it's referring to the same person. And that's also something important to think about when we're looking at military service. It's not unusual for men to enlist more than once. And this can make it difficult to tell if two records referred to the same man or two men with the same name, especially when we compound the issue of having complexions that might vary from record to record. So it can be a little bit difficult to tell exactly how many men with that name actually provided Patriot aid. And as you're going through the records, you will find notations that say verified or unverified. And verified, for the purposes of the Patriots of Color database, verified means that both service and complexion were established with confidence. So, yes, this record is indicating that there is service of some sort and is indicating a non-white complexion. Unverified means that either the service or the complexion have not been firmly established. It looks good. We think that that this person is a patriot of color, but not 100% positive. So that person in that record is listed as unverified. Now, again, here is what the Patriots of Color database looks like, again, at www.archives.com/patriots. Very easy database to get into and use. You can simply enter a name. If you want to narrow it down by state of service, you can do it right there. If those aren't enough search options for you, you can click here on Advanced Options. And that will give you more options such as alternate names, service type, how was their complexion described, is there an indication of a federal or state bounty land warrant, is there an indication of a federal or a state pension, and for a state pension, where did they apply, and is this person verified or unverified, or both? So quite a few search options that we can use. So I did a search for John Cook and got two results, one from the Continental Navy and one in the Continental Army serving out of Rhode Island. For either one of these, to get more details, I can either click on the name or click on the link to view details. And when I do that, I see all of the information that has been pulled from this record. And we see that this John Cook has been verified. So that means that, yes, both his service and his complexion have been established with a degree of certainty. We see that his complexion is described as Negro. We don't have any alternate names from this particular record, but we see that he served from Rhode Island in the Continental Army. And if there had been any indication of a federal pension or a state pension or a bounty land warrant, that information would have appeared down here. Now, I'm a firm believer in the only thing better than having a good record is having a good bibliography that's going to point me to more records or is going to tell me more about what I just found. It's going to give me good background information. So I encourage everyone to click on the link to resources. And you'll find this link both on the detail pages like this and on the Patriots of Color homepage at archives.com/patriots. That page also has a list to resources. And when you click there, you will get a wonderful biography. And it goes on for a lot longer than this. I had to get just a small shot of it here just for the screenshot. It is much, much longer than this. Going on for sources about general information about the Revolutionary War. There's information about Patriots of Color, other resources that you can use, background information. There's information about the Continental Army, the Continental Navy. Just again, a really great bibliography. And I encourage anyone who is doing any Revolutionary War research to take a look at this resource page, because there is some really, really good resources that you will want to check out. So as a recap of Patriots of Color, again, it's available at archives.com at archives.com/patriots. And it's a free database. So please take some time, explore the database. You will find some wonderful, wonderful records about this group of individuals who have for too long really been under-researched and underreported. So encourage you to take a look at Patriots of Color, especially this time of year when we're getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July, celebrate Independence Day. It's a really great way to celebrate our nation's founding. Next week in the archives.com live stream, we're going to take a look at what are you missing in the 1900 and 1910 censuses. You think that you know everything there is to know about the 1900 and 1910 censuses? Well, come back on July 10th and see if you're right, or see if there are a few things that surprise you, maybe you didn't know. So that will be on Wednesday, July the 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. In the meantime, stay connected with archives.com, whether it's on our blog, liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter, 140 characters at a time, or seeing our previous live streams over on our YouTube channel. And there is the URL for the YouTube channel right there, where you will find all of our previous live streams. Some great topics. Hope that you check those out. In the meantime, this is Amy Johnson Crow wishing you happy researching.